Pull it together, ladies.
Hello, everybody. This is Conversations with Your Nurse Advocates. And Mary and I are very, very happy to have a guest with you that's going to let us know a little bit about non-medical at-home services. And Mary, I'm going to let you introduce our guest, Candy, and tell them a little bit about how you know Candy, and we'll get started.
Okay, thanks, Pam. That sounds great. So Candy and I have only known each other for a couple months, actually. The owner of her franchise, Right at Home, is Shelly, and Shelly's been a good friend of mine for many years. And I went into the office to talk to Shelly about it and our new company, and ended up getting a chance to meet Candy. So Candy and I had the opportunity to sit down and talk about our services and what they provide for patients in the home. And we have been so far partnering with them and hope to have that go on for a long time. So Candy does the, I believe, community relations and also assessments for Right at Home out of the Germantown office. So it's all yours, Candy.
Thank you. So we offer in-home care, like you guys mentioned. It is non-medical, but that doesn't exclude that we don't do personal cares, because we do. So we can do anything that ranges just from companionship all the way up to showers, bathing, sponge baths. Even if a client has a Hoyer or a sit to stand lift, we can still accommodate those clients, which is very nice. I think that a lot of people look at in-home care as something that, oh, someone needs medical help in their home, etc. But we can't discount clients that just need companionship or someone there, almost like a friend in a way as well, or someone to communicate with the family when they're seeing changes. We have quite a few clients that their family doesn't even live in the state. So we communicate those changes and things like that to the families. And it's an important process. It really is, because some people decline just from having isolation, and that's outside of COVID. They just feel isolated because they don't have family and friends nearby anymore, for whatever reasons in their life. So we're here to bridge that gap for people, provide them with care, services. There's people that, they can't go to the grocery store anymore. Carrying stuff's too heavy. Maybe someone goes with them, walks them through, here's your list, let's find everything, those types of things, and then carries it in the house and puts it away for them. That's, to some people, that's just the biggest thing in the world. Like going to the grocery store almost seems like an insurmountable task to some, especially if they have to use a cart. They'll wait the longest amount of time that they can possibly until they have to go. So this kind of eases that off for them. We even cook meals. So, like a nice home cooked meal, who wouldn't like that? I'll hire one of those. So that's a nice thing too, because, they're not eating a TV dinner. We'll meal plan, meal prep. We can make, like, say, a big lasagna and then we freeze it, and, stuff like that. So it's all different kinds of things that, people probably wouldn't even think about that we do. And they kind of discover those when we go into in-home assessments and sit down and talk with them. We do like to talk with our clients, but also, a family member, if they do have them there, just to help them make the decision. But also to, let them know that we'll communicate with everybody. We have a family room. So what that is, and it's the client, signs off that yes, so-and-so can use the family room. But what that is we attach it to your email, we send you an invite, and then you can log in and you can see what tasks are assigned to your client or family member. You can send us messages for, so-and-so has a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Can we move the shift time to 2 p.m., whatever. But they can also see the schedule. So they know who's coming, what time. They can send us messages about changes. Okay, they want so-and-so to go to the store on Tuesday to get milk because they're out of milk. So we can relay those messages instantly to our caregivers. So we're ahead of the curve, basically. And we kind of know we can pre-plan and know what's going on for a lot of our clients. And I think a lot of people like to take advantage of the family room families. Even some of our clients that you wouldn't think that would do that, or the age group where you wouldn't think is so tech savvy, they actually get really excited and they're like, yeah, I do have an email. And so then they learn to use it. So it's pretty fun to have some of those people that do that and interact that way. We do service quite a large territory. We are a franchise, but my owner, her name is Shelly Reed, and she took over. Our franchise was established for Right at Home about 25 years ago, and then Shelly bought our territory a little over around 7.5 years ago now, and it was established though for 13. And since she's had it, we purchased another territory in addition to what we already had. So now we cover we're in 4 counties. We cover Ozaukee County, Washington County, Waukesha County, and Dodge County. So we're all over.
Yeah.
So that brings
Yep.
And that just brings one question. So I know we have a lot of viewers and people that watch from all over the United States, and I know we have some viewers from South Dakota and from other places. What if someone is out of the area, out of the state, and so would be the website the best way for them to maybe look for a Right at Home franchise in their area? Is that what would be the best thing for them to do?
That's what they should do, is just I would Google Right at Home. It'll come up with, like, when you do that, it'll come up with the areas. A lot of times, so here's the nice thing, because it goes by zip codes, we buck up to 2 other Right at Homes. So we share zip codes in Waukesha with another one, in Milwaukee with another one. So sometimes people don't know exactly which one to call or where they're really at, where they fall. But so we have partnerships with our other Right at Homes. I'm hoping that most other ones do, but we do for sure. And we will get you to the right place. We're not just like, oh, we're not the location you need. Bye. We're like, hold on, I'll get you to the right person. I'll get you the right number. We'll let them know that we had a referral, whatever it is. So we do partner that way. But yeah, in general, you can go to Right at Home and it'll show you all the locations. You can just pick location, but they may service outside of their county, because I'm a Germantown location. If you look me up, I'm Germantown, but I just listed off all of those territories that we service. So it just really depends on how large that franchisee's territory really is. So, but the nice thing is that we are all across the United States. Everybody shares within, the franchise. It's they make us be involved. We're very, we all have the same mission and kind of like the same attitude towards what we do, which is really nice. So it's, you're not sending someone off worried if you have to refer them to another franchisee. They'll be taken care of. So that's a great thing.
So Candy, tell us a little bit, how are your services paid for?
Sure. So we are mainly private pay. However, we do partner with the ADRC, which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center. So in order to get services paid, you'd have to reach out to the ADRC first. It goes by your county that you live in. So you would reach out to them. They do their own assessment. They look at 2 things. They look at your need and your income and put that together. I don't know. We wouldn't be able to answer. We get that question a lot. Like, do you think I'd qualify? I have no idea. Just because they go by need as well, and that being put in there with the income, it really just, it's a crazy variable. So that's the place to start. And so you could possibly get funding for in-home care. They might not pay for everything that you need, or only a limited amount, but something's better than nothing, is what I always tell everybody that asks about it. So you may as well try. The worst thing they can do is tell you no. And then we also, which I'm super proud of this, is we partner with the VA as well. So a lot of our clients are funded through the VA for our services, which is very nice because a lot of in-home care companies don't partner with the VA, and we do. So I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of Shelly, my owner, for doing that, just because, it's something that we were working towards. Kind of getting more clients like that so we could help them, because those are the people that they need it, you know what I mean? It's like income based or whatever it is, they wouldn't have services without funding. So working with the EADRC and working with the VA, we're very proud to do that. And
And it's
then
hard because
yep.
I was going to say the VA is not traditionally easy to work with because you're
No.
working with the government. So there's a lot of
Hmm.
red tape. There's a lot of forms. There's a lot of things. So,
Right.
kudos to your company for being willing to take that on
Yes.
and provide the care, because I think our vets, are some of the more underserved, clients out there. So that's a
Correct.
really good thing.
Yep, and that's how Shelly feels about it too. Last year for Memorial Day, we made a video of all of our vets that we had. And they released like different videos and different cool things that they did and pictures from when they were in whatever they served in. And it was really nice and sweet. And I think that they really liked that we made a big deal out of them, or, thought something special about them. And just to acknowledge them, I thought was really nice. And their families loved it, I think, even more than they did, to be honest. But everybody was so excited to have this video of them, so that was fun. But then we also do take long-term care plans as well. So if someone has a long-term care plan set up, then some of those work differently, but we can work with those as well. So that's nice. So we have a couple different other avenues besides just private pay. So that's a nice thing. And our rate is a range. So you could be on the lower end or the higher end, just depending on the cares that are needed. But we have it set as a range and not just a set rate, because some people, if we were like, okay, we're automatically this high rate no matter what. Well, we take into consideration, are you just a companionship? Are you just a housekeeping? Or are you someone that needs a Hoyer lift or a sit to stand? So we kind of try to accommodate all of that. Within our rates for service too. So that's something that, people I think are scared away because they're just instantly like, oh, it's so expensive. So we have wiggle room. So that's good. And
And one of the things I like to talk about too is I've been in situations where there's a lot of private caregivers out there. You can go and
yeah,
find some of these caregivers, but it's nice to know. And what I sometimes they can be less expensive, but what I like to tell people is that you're not getting, when you're with an agency, you're getting someone who's going to make sure that someone shows up for you. And
right,
if that person can't, they'll find, may have to change a day or time, but they'll find someone else. And it's just more professional. So
right.
I always encourage, people that are looking to that, please, if they can afford it, to consider, you know, uh, getting an agency in there, because they're going to meet their needs, I think, well.
Well, and that's funny that you bring that up, because we have a couple of clients currently that do have private caregivers, but we're still working for them because they have to fill in around their private caregivers, or, the caregivers are going on vacation, or the caregiver up and quit. Just there's different
Yeah.
reasons, but I mean, we're a company that's in with, we have a couple clients that have private caregivers now, but we fill in around them, and we work with their private care team to fill in, okay, what's your schedule for this month? So
And
yeah,
that's an awesome thing, because as I was talking about that, oftentimes they may have a particular caregiver that's been with them for a long time, so they don't want to lose that caregiver, but yet
right,
that's only one person. And like you said, they need extra people to fill in and work around. And
yeah,
so that's a really good fit. And that's, again, kudos to you guys for being flexible in how you're helping to, make sure that the client gets what they need. So
Oh, exactly. And we've had a couple of caregivers that they used to work for us and then maybe they moved on and now they're privately with somebody and they need backup and they call us because they worked for us. They know us. They know that we'll do a good job. So that's been kind of nice too, just that we have those people out in the field, caregivers that were, okay, we've been in business for 7 years. They were in school for something when they started and they're reaching out or sending people our way just because of that, just for working at it with us before. So that's always nice that we have, those kind of feelers out in the communities and stuff, and people that know us and can recommend us and are still somewhat or in some way somehow in a healthcare role, um, and just helping kind of bridge that gap to get people to us. So that's super nice. And I recently was talking with someone that I haven't met before. She's in healthcare, but she told me, she was like, I reached out to her and she was like, absolutely want to meet you. She's like, you have such a good footprint out there. And I was like, oh, really? And I was like, tell me more about that. So it was just a good feeling to know that, we're known to basically back up what we say we can do, is pretty much what she relayed to me. And I was like, that was such a good feeling to get that feedback. So especially for this industry that's up and down and, it seems like the caregivers to client ratio never matches the same. It's so it's like you always need one or the other. So it's something that we strive to make sure that we're a success. There's other companies that are in-home care companies that reach out to us to help them when they need extra help. And there's, we do the same. So we are friends with other in-home care companies. You look at them as competitors most of the time, but I look at them as partnerships because these are people that have been able to step in and help us where maybe we don't want to lose a client, but we need extra help for a short period of time, or vice versa. And we are able to do those things. So that's something that's really nice, that we can speak of, that we are, someone that people want to partner with, a good company that, stands by our word. So that's great to be able to do that. And, people always ask you, why do you stand out? What's different about your company? And I hate that question.
good, because I was going to ask it.
But I have a good answer. Well, you always get that question, you feel put on the spot unless you have a good answer, and I do. But I think we stand out because every person in our office staff has had caregiving in their background some way, somehow. So we can all relate. But we can also, when we're doing these home assessments, we can go in and probably point out or see things that are necessary or that are lacking or that, might help somebody so much just because we've worked in the industry and we can see it and spot it right off the bat. And, we're in office and we're office people, but we're not just office people. So, and all of us can step in and help it, any client, anytime if necessary. So, and we're all willing to, we'll do exactly what our caregivers will do if we have to. So it's nice to say.
With and I know obviously we can't share names or details, but I always like to give our listeners, some, when we're talking about these cares and stories really impact, can really let someone know what a company's about, or, when you're trying to teach someone, it's always nice to share stories. So do you have a story, Candy, that you could share that just would demonstrate maybe something that may be considered above and beyond, or some big win that you maybe have had with a client, or if you have
Sure.
a story like that you can share?
Well, we actually just had something recently, a big event for us, and one of our families. It was a husband and wife duo. The wife, we were with her. She's had Alzheimer's for quite a long time, many years, and it got to the point where they finally decided to move her to a memory care, but they wanted to keep us with the husband. He was in, I don't need help, I don't need help, but once she was moved out, he realized he just wanted us there. So we cut down on the number of shifts we were there for, but he just we were a comfort. So we stayed with him. And then unfortunately, there was a huge event and he passed. And so I got the call from the daughter to let me know what happened. And we were on the phone for quite a long time because she was obviously very distraught. And her first thing was she wanted to call all the caregivers to tell all the caregivers that were with them. And she's thinking about our caregivers. Her dad just passed and she was thinking about our caregivers. And I was taken aback for a second. I was like, you don't need to do that. I was like, I'll handle that. And I'm like, I will tell each one of them that they can reach out to you. But I'll work on, getting a hold of everybody. I'm sure you have a lot of other things to do. So, in the process of that, one of our caregivers, we knew she'd absolutely want to go to the service. So we were moving around her shifts, getting other people to take her shifts, talking to her clients, and doing all that. In the midst of that, I get a call from the daughter because she wants us there to take the mom who from the memory care to the service, stay with her, take her from the service back to memory care. And so we were there with them through this whole event. Our office staff went. Other caregivers went besides the one that, she was already going to go. And I was like, she's already going to go. Don't worry about it. I'm like, we'll just send her to go, take care of your mom. So, it just worked out very nicely, but I was just so taken aback that her first thought was to sit there and I got to call the caregivers because we were with them for years and, just a lovely, lovely couple and a lovely family all around. And it was just so, so sweet. So I think that would probably be at least the most recent thing. I could probably sit here and talk to you for 2 hours about that.
Well, I do have another question. So if you what and you've said that you already have adult children that live out of state. So if there is an adult child
Yes.
of an elderly parent that's watching us tonight and they don't know what to do and they're looking to try and put things together and put a plan and to have some help for their parents, what would you say to that child?
I would probably, you got to have an honest conversation with your parent because here's the biggest thing I run into is that, especially if they're out of state and they come home maybe for a visit or whatever, they go, oh, the state of things. A lot of times the parent's not telling them because the parent doesn't want help or to admit that they need help. And that's the biggest issue. They don't want to admit that they need help because they're the parent, right? Well, you can't force services on someone. You get them started. It's just start that conversation and lead up to, okay, this is what we're going to do instead of just springing it on them because a lot of times they'll get pushed back. I mean, we've had this happen a few times where maybe they won't answer the door when we show up, or they just keep calling and canceling the shift. And then the family member has no idea. And we're like, we haven't really been servicing them. We'll get a call like, why aren't I getting bills or whatever? And we're like, we haven't really been there because they keep canceling. So it's having that conversation and starting that and kind of warming them up to the idea. And then there's a lot of senior resources wherever you are. Usually there's senior resources booklets, and you can get them from anywhere from the health department to like your DHS, whatever state you're in. They all call them something different, but they specifically have things that are for seniors there to get you started, which is nice. Talk to your county office. Those are the places that they can start. Talk to their doctor. Those are places that they have probably companies that they work with or refer to regularly. Go to one of your parents' doctor's appointments if you can, or do a virtual visit with the doctor if you can. Those are kind of the biggest things. A lot of times at that point, people should start looking at maybe like talking to their parents about being their POA, which is a power of attorney, because we run into a lot of that where the decision making's kind of funky or billing's kind of funky, just because of the POA situation. So looking into that, especially as people age, it's kind of better to have that set in place and ready when it's necessary. So I would start there with those things, and Google. Google
Well,
Google reviews will tell you.
or you can get your nurse advocates. We'd be very happy to help you
Yes,
work out those details as well.
refer to me.
So we can all help.
Right.
And I wanted to mention, that's a very good point, Candy, that you made as far as, virtual visit with a doctor, or, when they're out. I mean, since this current, state of affairs, with the pandemic, a lot of doctor's office, I mean, it's very common for, because they weren't allowing more than one or sometimes no one to go to the doctor's appointment with them. It's been very common for them to have, someone in the family call in and just be on speakerphone and go through the whole visit and talk with the doctor. So in the last year and a half, these clinics, they've become very accustomed to doing those kind of virtual things, or having a cell phone on speaker. So please don't, like Candy said, try and encourage to participate in those things, that exactly what's going on, and you can
Right.
hear what the doctor, the provider is saying, because oftentimes, depending on what they're told, your parent may not be telling you the whole story. So,
Well, right. Or it's just they don't, it's too much information at once, so they don't retain everything. And because of that, they're just going to say, "Oh, I'm fine." And it's not like on purpose, it's just they don't know how to relay what they were just told. So a lot of times, just having someone there like that is great, to be an advocate or make them feel supported. A lot of times they won't even tell their family members things are happening, but they'll tell our caregivers once we're in place. So we become that bridge a lot, where it gets filtered the caregiver informs us of a change, and then we have to contact the family. But I don't care how it has to happen. I just think it's good that it's happening, because a lot of these people, these are people that worked hard, and now they're at a stage in life where they should be taken care of and taken care of appropriately. So whatever we have to do to make sure that happens, we will do that. I mean, we go above and beyond, but bigger thing, our caregivers go even more above and beyond, because the things that they do for some of our clients, it's amazing. Um, just from small things of making food and taking it to shifts, to getting them gifts for Christmas, those types of things, they just become so ingrained in each other's lives. So you're not supposed to do that, but it happens.
yes. So, Candy, it's been amazing. This half hour has gone by really quickly. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time, to come chat with us, and to give us a little insight on what, personal care agencies are, and non-medical, home care. Before I let you go, is there anything that we didn't talk about or bring up that you'd like to mention before we say goodnight?
Sure. I would just like to mention, even if you call agencies like us because maybe you're looking for transport or anything like that, we have recommendations for you. So even if you're not coming or calling for in-home care, we partner with so many types of companies. If you need medical equipment, um, medical transportation, any of those types of things, we can help you get there too. And we will do our best. We do a lot of referrals for facilities in the area too, around us, that we work with and are in. So we kind of know the ins and outs, and so we're not scared to help in any way. So
Awesome. Well, Candy, again, thank you so much, and we hope that we can have you back sometime. And
yes, thank you
yeah,
so much for having me.
you are very welcome. Thank you, everyone. This has been episode 22 with Your Nurse Conversations with Your Nurse Advocates, and we look forward to seeing everyone next Wednesday night. And thank you for those that are going to catch us on the replay. So with that being said, we're going to say good night. Good night, Candy.
Night.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.